So today I'm just going to talk about affirmations and why affirmations alone aren't enough. I'm a full believer in visualizing what you want and going after what you want, but unless you have certain conditions in place, there is no way that you're going to achieve the goal as quickly as you could. I know what it feels like to be frustrated. Sometimes we go through stages where we're just in a transition time in our lives, and in those times, you feel quite uncertain about what's next. And you know that when you're in a transition point and you're moving towards something new because you usually feel quite frustrated about where you're at. So, affirmations are a great thing to do. Saying to yourself, I want to be a millionaire, or maybe you want to do something like be a coach, maybe you want to be a CEO. And so you have this desire inside you. And the reason why you have the desire inside you is because you instinctively know it's something that you're meant to do. I find that people who don't care about speaking, it's because they really don't have that in them. But if somebody wants to be a speaker, it's because something inside them tells them that they are meant to do it and they're going to be good at it. So I want to share with you 6 keys today that are going to help you move the needle quicker to where you want to be with your goal. So it's a formula that I've written, which is a whole bunch of letters together, and then I'm going to take you through it really quickly and give you some practical tools that are going to help that you can use straight away to help you move towards your goal quicker. So D plus WV plus E plus R plus S equals rapid results. So what does that all mean? Okay, so let me start with the first one, which is desire. So as I said, if you've got a desire to do something, it's because you're meant to do it. And you probably already have some gifts and talents in that area. So the desire, think about what is it that you dream about at night? What do you lie awake thinking about doing and wish you could do? And a good clue to knowing what you really want to do is when you know someone else doing it and you feel like you should be on that stage or you should be running that company. So when you've got that little fire in your belly or that seed, it's just a matter of going through a process that's going to work for you to help you get there quicker. So the first thing is desire. What are you passionate about? What is it that your friends tell you that you're good at? Some of you may already know what it is, but you're frustrated because you can't get there. So let's go to step number 2. So this one is huge. This is what I call your worldview. So your worldview is how you see yourself and how you see the world. So what do you believe about the world? Do you believe that there's limited opportunities because there's so many people in the marketplace? Or do you believe that you can create anything? If you have a belief that you're creative, and I believe that we are all creative, you are going to be able to create what you want. You know, there was a time in my life where I had this worldview that became quite negative. We'd been through some financial hardship, and I remember going through this season or this time in my life where I felt like nothing was going to change. I kind of lost a bit of hope. I remember lying on my bed and just feeling desperate about what are we going to do to change this situation. But as I worked through with myself against my own battles and overcame the battle of anxiety and started to make choices about the way I was going to view the world, what started to happen was things started to flow to me more easily. And I remember particularly this one time I went to a program that was all about mindset shift, which is the field that I've been in for so many years. And I put myself in a position where I could hear something different and get a different perspective. And I came home from that program, and within 3 weeks I had $50,000 worth of work with a company that just came to me just like that. And so number 3 is your emotions and your energy. How do you feel every day? Because how you feel every day is going to influence what you do every day. So if you feel good, you do good. So how do you want to feel? How do you want to feel? And how do you currently feel about the goal that you have? So think about a word that would describe how you would like to feel, and that's what you want to focus on and get your body aligned with that. So what has to happen for you to feel confident, for example? What kind of situations can you put yourself in that make you feel confident? How do you breathe when you're confident? So shifting your state, physical state, is a massive part of being able to connect and draw that line between where you are and your goal.
So number 4 is your rules. So we all have rules, right, that we think about things. For example, subconsciously you might be saying to yourself, I'm not someone who is great at sales, for example. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, I don't know if I'm going to be able to start a business because maybe you've been in a corporate role and you're used to getting a pay packet and you want to do something but you're not sure if it's going to work. So your rules about business, or your rules about selling, your rules about whether you could be a good speaker or not, we all have them. And so if you start to recognize, what do you want to believe? What kind of rules do you want to believe? So maybe your new rule could be, I can get really good at running my own business or scaling my business. I'm a great leader. I could be a great CEO. So start to flip your rules and recognize the rules that are holding you back. Because a lot of times the rules that we have are rules that have been other people's rules that we've learned as we've been growing up. And we all know that school isn't the place that teaches us how to think differently. So this is all about, how do you think differently? So number 5 is strategy and skills. So being able to be successful is not just about mindset, even though that's a huge part of it. It's also about, what skills do you need. So think for a moment about the skills that you do currently have, and I want you to write down the gaps that you have. So maybe you need to learn how to market more effectively. Maybe it's just a practical skill that you need to get help with. Find someone who's really good at marketing, for example, or find someone who's been in business or who can coach you through the business side. Maybe that you need to learn how to sell. I mean, I believe we all need to be better at influencing, regardless of whether you're in a role or whether you work for yourself. If you don't know how to influence, get people on board, create partnerships, align yourself with influential people, then it's going to be really difficult for you to grow quickly on your own. So what skills do you need? So when you have skill gaps, really you can learn. There's probably loads of things that you've already learned. So what else can you learn? You can figure it out. You don't have to stay where you are. Or who can you find or partner with that has a complementary skill set to you that's going to help you to accelerate quicker? And the last thing is execution. So for people who are creative or ideators, they often need to have people around them who are great at implementing. You know, a lot of people who get really excited about ideas, they chase the shiny objects, and it's because the right side of their brain is just powering away like a machine. But it's kind of like driving the car without an engine. So how can you move into that execution part of your brain and start to move through tasks that are going to get you? I can relate to this one because I'm always coming up with ideas. I've got loads of programs, always doing multiple projects at once. But unless I have a schedule, I'm very focused on the key rocks, I call them, that are the key projects that I'm moving towards. Every day I could be wasting so much time, and I've done it before, and we all do it, getting distracted with things that aren't aligned with where we want to go. So execution is about focus. It's about doing things and pushing through those barriers that we don't like to do. Maybe you're not someone who likes to do administrative or organizing. And if that's the case, it's about having a high level view of the project and the goal, but being disciplined, putting some discipline into your day so that you spend a certain amount of time working on, how am I going to execute this plan? How am I going to plan for the future? Otherwise, you'll be like this. You'll be going in 100 directions at once and you're not going to land the fish that you want to land. I invite you to come onto our page, onto our website. We've got some great tools there that you can use to help you take your idea to execution faster or improve your confidence or your belief around what you want to do next.